This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the Copper Box Arena.
Yes, we are.
Here in London, Stratford. I'm joined by promoter, self-proclaimed greatest promoter of all time, Eddie Hearn.
Never said that.
You were hinting that in the interview yesterday, weren't you?
Never said I was the greatest promoter. I am, but I've never come out and said it before tonight.
Where do you think you rank? Are you in the top 10 of all time?
That is so insulting.
Top 5?
That is, honestly.
Top 3?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Who would you put alongside you? Not in any particular order, but who would you put alongside you?
Look, I don't really always agree with the way Don King does business, but he was a very good promoter. If there was a show in town, you knew there was a show in town. Bob Arum has lasted the test of time. I mean, he's still going. Spoke to him several times in the last few days. Unbelievable energy. My old man, Hall of Famer, Frankie Warren. But these boys, they're done, aren't they? I mean, that's kind of like, they've had their time, world's changed, and just it's not really the same anymore.
They're clearly not done because they're still promoting big fights, but they are.
No, I know what you mean. They're still operating, but they're done, really. When you get to that stage in your life, it's time to enjoy yourself. You don't want to be handling, up all night on the phone, and, So, time for the next generation to come through. Old Frankie Smith. See him in the Square Mile, some photo shoot in the Square Mile, going like this, and all that kind of stuff. Because sooner or later, I'm not going to be cool anymore. Obviously, probably a couple of decades away. But on a serious note, this is just what happens over time.
It would be funny to see you at Bob Arum's age, if you're like, apples and pears, pay-per-view this week, all right, son.
No. Well, one, I don't do that anyway. And two, mate, are you serious?
I don't know with you.
You what? No. You think...
What are you going to be doing in your 60s? What are you going to be doing?
60s. This is what I'm going to be doing in my 60s. I'm going to be playing golf, right? I'm going to be sitting in the sun. I'm going to have a little margarita on the go, possibly a la-di-da. I don't even like cigars. I'm going to be trying to keep myself fit. I'm sure I'll be involved in the business, but mate, my time will be done. You can't do this, what I'm doing, forever. So that's why you got the likes of, on a serious note, Frank Smith will take over Matchroom Boxing. And actually, very soon, will move as well into other areas of the business. We'll expand, we'll get into new things, and that'll be what I do. Okay. I plane here every week, plane here, aggravation, doing interviews with you. I mean, imagine me at 80. And you'll be like, well, this is KUGAN CASSIUS for IF, what is it? IF what? Who's the sponsors? Oh. And I'll be going, can we sit down, mate? Because I can't really stand up anymore. Fuck that. Enjoy your life.
Well, we'll wait till that time arrives. Very interesting night tonight.
Yeah, really
got to be honest, though, that the spotlight has been stolen by the vacant WBA world title women's fight between Courtney and Bridges. The numbers have been huge across all social media. But let's start with Conor Benn. As we were talking about it literally 10 minutes ago, this is a tough fight for Conor Benn.
Really tough fight. And, you said to me walking down, I don't mind repeating our conversation, you said, any upsets tonight? I said, I think Conor's got a really, really tough fight. And you went, what? Your exact words were, but you wouldn't put him in this fight if you thought he was going to lose, would you? I'm like, well, I put him in this fight because I believe he's ready for this challenge. But this is a real challenge because Vargas don't quit. He don't go on the back foot. He'll always try and be in the fight. And if he's still in there at the mid stage of the fight, which you'd expect him to be because he's very tough and very durable, it's going to be a real fight. I'm really excited about this fight because it's going to tell us a lot about Conor Benn. Slightly nervous, but I believe in him. I believe he's ready, and I think it's the perfect step up.
I know we spoke about it earlier on in the week, but I said the suggestion of Conor Benn being the next kind of breakout UK pay-per-view star, and I think, he comes through tonight. It kind of echoes those thoughts, but he's got everything, hasn't he? He's got all the potential ingredients to reach that.
Yeah, and when you come through, we get to see, and some people can see, but we get to see digitally and internally the numbers that these guys are doing. You probably get it as well. You could be in a position to say, yeah, that guy does great numbers. He could be and Conor's one of them, right? So, but to be a pay-per-view fighter, it's different to headlining on a Saturday night fight night. you have to be able to mix it at world level. And what Vargas is, I think it's wrong to call Vargas a gatekeeper just yet, but he's a guy that you put the world-class fighters in to test, all right? And if they come through, you know, it's a job done. And that's where we're at with Conor. Long way to go. But I think he's doing an amazing job. He's working so hard. People love him. He speaks great. He looks great. You know, got some great brand deals as well. Yeah, he's a superstar. But you have to keep winning.
Absolutely. Just coming back to the vacant title, WBA title between Bridges and Courtney, I think everyone was more had their eyes on you rather than what was going on in the weigh-in yesterday, because you're as professional as they come. We know it's an awkward situation, and you dealt with it well, I thought.
No, but there's cameras everywhere, isn't it? And you've got to be so careful because, like, in the head-to-head, right, I'm looking at both fighters, and obviously then there's a freeze frame of one. But for the weigh-in, I just thought to myself, I'm just going to look at that dot on the back of the wall, to be honest with you. So you can't win either way. And I think in the whole debate about good for women's boxing, bad for women's boxing, you can't win in that debate. The only thing I will say is you should be allowed in life to do what you want to do, right? As long as it's not breaking any rules. And that's the freedom of movement. That's equality, you know? So I think if Ebony Bridges wants to get her shot at the world title by not just boxing, but by hitting the headlines and driving views and getting people talking, that's what she's chose to do. And quite frankly, she's in this fight. A lot of the reasons behind that is because of how she's marketed herself, because of people messaging me all the time, give Ebony Bridges a shot, get her to the UK. You know, so she's got an opportunity. The one thing we don't know about Ebony Bridges is how good she really is, right? She's 5-0, looked good last time out. She can fight. Is she a world-class fighter? You know, is Shannon Courtney a world-class fighter? I believe she is. And I believe she has a lot more experience than Ebony. But Ebony, she might be a really, really good fighter. And again, you get, as I keep saying, you get to that stage in those divisions when you're 5, 6, 7 and 0, there's no one else to fight. You've got to fight. You've got to step up and fight for the title. So, the winner tonight we want to go on and fight Rachel Ball in the summer, and I'm really intrigued by that fight. Really intrigued, because like I said, it's a bit of Ebony's a little bit of an unknown quantity. You know, in terms of, yep, she's won her fights easily so far, but how good is she? And she's going to have to show levels tonight, because she's going to step up the levels.
I will chuck something in there. The most top-rated clip on IFL TV is Dave Allen's weigh-in against Dave Hearn, where he allegedly stuck a sock down his pants.
Well, I think it would. Not allegedly. I mean, if he didn't, I'm packing up.
No, I'm just saying allegedly because I didn't see him do it, so I use that word. But that clip hit 15 million views, and no one was saying, oh, you know, kind of Dave's exploiting any kind of whatever. But she's been very clear this week, Ebony Bridges, about she wants to sell the fight, but then when it comes to fight night, she's all about business.
Yeah, but also she's doing what she wants to do. I said in the interview with her yesterday, there's no one saying to Ebony Bridges, wear that, right? Because that will get you views. She is doing that herself, right? No problem with it. She's also right to say now it's completely irrelevant. You better be able to fight because you're about to go in there and someone else is going to try and take your head off. I think with Ebony, what people sometimes get confused with is that's just the only side to her, what you're seeing on the scales. If you follow her on social media, if you understand the work she puts in, the way she studies boxing, her love for boxing, I know how seriously she takes this. Do you know what I mean? That's the fun side. That's to get recognised, to get opportunities. And listen, everyone's got to get on in life. So you do it in the way you think will bring you the best opportunities. Yeah, I mean, you can't really win in that conversation. But you're quite right, Dave Allen. You know, loads of situations. You know, big Nick Campbell making his pro debut. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the fight, and I'm looking forward to Savannah Marshall. I actually think it's quite a tough fight. I know Lindbergh's had very limited notice, but she's super tough, and you know, Savannah Marshall for me is the hardest pound-for-pound puncher in boxing, in women's boxing, and she can really crack. So get through tonight, and you know we want to get that Shields fight made.
All right, cheers, mate. You can go now. Not really. So, Edward, moving on, obviously, from tonight, but let's talk about a couple of social media posts that were put out yesterday. First of all, from Anthony Joshua, which kind of put a semi-cryptic... It's not him now, is it?
No. Go on, carry on.
Semi-cryptic message out to say that possibly maybe things are going well and teams are working on it, 258, yourself, etc. Tyson Fury puts an Instagram post out yesterday to suggest that things are maybe kind of moving in the right direction. So can you kind of make comment on both of those people? Yeah.
I mean, when you hear AJ speak, it's for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So, me, I speak all the time, all right? Should you take me seriously all the time? Yeah, but sometimes I'm going to get it wrong. Sometimes I do so many interviews that I don't deliver on something I've said, and you can pull it up and say, you said that, and you said, because I do a million interviews a day. When AJ comes out and speaks, you know things are serious.
So what did he really tell us yesterday?
He said, I want you to know that myself, 258, and Matchroom Boxing are working really hard to get this done. What that tells you is it's really close to official announcement time, right? Because, and then obviously the discussions yesterday with Top Rank and Tyson Fury's team, he has now been made aware that we have multiple offers and we're about to make a decision. Now, those offers will be presented to him tomorrow, as I've stated all along. They're expecting those offers in. We'll all go through them. There's some very attractive offers there and opportunities. We'll all talk together, and then we'll confirm the venue. So I don't want to get arrogant at this stage and say, I'll do that when it's signed, right?
I don't want to be around you. Well, actually, I do. Tell a lie when it's signed.
You know me. I'll be nice and low key. I won't be goading at all. But on a serious note, I'll be very proud because we worked really hard for this. It hasn't been easy. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, global recession. So I've grafted my nuts off, and we're not there yet. We've signed the contract. We've got all these offers to present to those guys. Until you hear the official site announcement, I won't stop and I won't sleep. So I'm doing everything I can, and you can't do anything more than do your best. But stand by, I believe we're super close now to getting this done.
Because we've only seen kind of these cryptic messages from Tyson Fury with the clock ticked up, but the fact that he put a video out last night saying that kind of it was a positive video.
Because I think that he
more than anything.
There's been so much work that's gone in. I think maybe he doesn't realise how much work's gone in. So as far as he's looking at it, well, what's going on? What's everyone up to? I mean, is it, that's probably the mentality. And then obviously yesterday it was the calls to say, right, this is in, this is coming, Sunday we've got to sit down. Oh, right, okay. So just a bit of positivity. And that's all I want. Because Fury needs to know that, again, we've worked our nuts off to try and do this. And we can't do any more than we're doing. No one's at fault. No one's been at fault. We've done everything we can. And we're in a really good place. So I'm not saying any more other than cross your fingers.
We know Qatar was mentioned and whoever else was mentioned, but we are fully expecting this fight to take place in Saudi Arabia. Let's have it right.
It depends if the fight... I mean, look, Prince Khalid, as you know, is...
Big K.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic to us, obviously from the Andy Ruiz fight. And without him, we would never have been able to deliver the Andy Ruiz fight. You know what? We may not have even been able to deliver the Andy Ruiz fight, full stop, for various reasons.
Financial implications.
Yes, but the neutrality of the venue, which was important, the whole thing. And now we're in a position where if we're going to do the fight in the Middle East, from my point of view, I'm doing it with Prince Khalid, right? He had a vision for boxing in Saudi. He delivered the Ruiz fight. He's the one who will drive this fight. And if he pulls it off, he will bring the biggest fight in boxing, one of the biggest fights in all time, the sporting event of 2021, where the whole world will stop and watched this fight, he will have delivered it. And like I said, when you talk about the Middle East, it's, you know, we have a personal relationship with Prince Khalid. I see him as a friend, and he has been working very hard to try and bring this, you know, and there are other offers from the Middle East. But as far as I'm concerned, if we're going to the Middle East, that's where we should be.
It just seems from the outside that, looking of my limited knowledge of this situation, that someone like Prince Khalid and Saudi Arabia as a whole feel like, because they've had the Joshua Ruiz fight, feel like they won't be beaten on this and they'll do what they need to do.
There's part of that, but that was always the plan. You know, when we sat down, we had a plan to do the Andy Ruiz fight and the Undisputed fight, right? That's what they wanted to bring. Now, the world has changed. It's been difficult for everybody. But this is your chance. This is your chance to get a fight, an event where I said the world will stop for. This build-up is going to be absolutely insane. By the time this fight comes around, the whole world, as I said, not UK, not Middle East, the whole world will stop to watch this fight. And whatever country lands it has had a tremendous, tremendous result. So we will see. I'm not saying anymore. I'm supposed to not say anything. But I'm getting excited. I'm getting really excited.
Eddie, I do need to ask you about Sadiq Khan, because, again, I've had people message me, showing me that Sadiq Khan video from yesterday, saying to me, well, how true is this? Yeah. You know, he put out a quite positive message saying that you two are basically besties, etc. But he's given hope, but I do feel like it's a little, no disrespectfully, but a little bit of false hope.
What he's saying is, we would love to do it. Okay, there's been conversations with Wembley. That will be put forward in the proposal. We know financially it's miles off the other offers that we've had in.
So just rule it out, Ed. Look, everyone's hanging on thinking, oh, it could be at Wembley.
I won't rule anything out until you see an announcement on the venue. Sadiq Khan is obviously, we know his boxing background. He was a huge help for us for Joshua Klitschko. You know, actually without him we wouldn't have been able to do it. It still goes back to, you know, you can't sit down with Wembley right now or DCMS and say, will you allow 100,000 on July 24th? We think, you know, there's a good chance that if, you know, so we'll see.
Last question about this. If we weren't in a pandemic situation, where would you kind of say that this fight potentially could land? Wembley obviously would be in more of a shot.
I think it hasn't really affected anything in terms of where we're going to end up. It's just that things have taken longer, right? And don't forget, this fight, you know, was probably scheduled really for sort of April, May. Now it's become July, August. It's not ideal for the Middle East, but we're going to go indoors. You know, there are people still concerned about travel situation and fans, but by July, I don't think that will be an issue, particularly in the Middle East. And it hasn't changed any. It's just made the conversations a lot more difficult, obviously financially as well. People aren't in the same position that they were with budgets and so forth. And that's why it's, you know, and really it got to a stage where this fight is happening in the summer. It's not happening in November, December. There's no interim bout, because then it falls apart. So we've had to say to these people, you know, this isn't a conversation to say, oh, could we do it in that? No. This is when it's happening. If you want it, let's go. If you don't, we move on to somebody else.
July 24th?
There's a few dates. It could.
Is that the likely date?
No, that's one of the dates.
But after the Euros, yes?
Yes. But again, I can only talk, again, for Matchroom, but also as a partner with Anthony Joshua and 258. So I can't talk for Tyson and Top Rank and all these guys, because that's their business. So tomorrow is the days, you know, I'm also going to try and, we've got Demetrius Andrade fighting Liam Williams next week, and I'm going to try and go and see Canelo and Billy Joe on Tuesday, and I think Tyson's out there as well, but I'm going to try and see
Vegas.
Yeah, but I'm going to try and see Bob Arum as well. Just sit down with him, go through everything. We're getting, you know, everyone's starting to believe.
Would you say all you guys, everyone involved in the careers of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, are kind of on the same page right now?
100%.
Great.
And the good thing is, they're starting to believe. I ain't stopped believing. But they believe now this is going to get done. And that feels really good, because I can tell their excitement. And that's what we need. We need the positivity. We're on the verge of pulling off this unbelievable sporting event. Amazing. We're on the verge.
On the verge?
On the verge. That's your title.
On the fucking verge.
We're on the verge. We are on the verge. Don't mean we're over the verge,
You
but
seem
we're
more
on it.
positive now than you did 2 days ago when I spoke
That
to you.
positivity also comes from their team. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been watching their stuff thinking, do you actually want this fight? It's almost like you want it to fall through. But that's because they didn't believe we could do what we're hopefully about to do. So we'll see.
Okay, but before all that, tonight is about the fighters on the bill, and it's going to be a great night here at the Copper Box.
6 p.m, Sky Sports Facebook, 7 p.m, Sky Sports. Nick Campbell, the big heavyweight, former Glasgow Warriors rugby player, making his pro debut. Why he wants to go into boxing, I don't know. He must be mad. Before that, Johnny Hedges on Sky Sports Facebook. Really, really good fight. Cash Farouk taking on Alexander Espinoza. He's a champion in that fight.
Tough fight.
Really, really tough fight. Not a lot of people, I think people, at the lower weight, sometimes you bring over, fighters from Mexico or Nicaragua, and they just presume it's another one of these guys. This is a world-ranked guy who's got a WBC international title. He's here to win. Really good fight. Shannon Courtney against Ebony Bridges. God knows what's going to happen in that one. Savannah Marshall in a really good fight against Maria Lindbergh. And then a cracking main event. I think it's going to be a great night, all action. Don't miss it.
One thing I'm going to say to you, just one more thing, right? Basically, if you help to pull off AJ Fury, you are a fucking hero. But if you don't, you're a massive prick.
When you say helped,
Because there's more than just you. Ed, come on, you're talking to us, but no, but there are other pieces to the pie.
this is a partnership. This takes everybody to be involved and on board. We're on the verge. I'll give you that. We're on the verge. We've still got work to do. I ain't going to stop. Right?
Come on, Saudi.
We're trying.